8 years ago today, my mom passed away, and that song has been one of my go-tos. So thank you for playing that today. All right. Well, this year is going by a little bit quick. I mean our church year. Our calendar year, well, that's moving right along too. This Wednesday is Ash Wednesday already. I'm going to kind of throw Mike under the bus. When I mentioned the other day that, Ash Wednesday, can you believe? He goes, wait, that means Fat Tuesday. Yes, it does. I can't believe it's here already. But as I said with the children, that Lent is considered to be the 40 days of fasting, praying, and contemplation, that it actually ends on Holy Thursday, or Maundy Thursday. And the 40 days represent the same 40 days that Jesus was in the wilderness fasting. In Matthew 4, then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. Right in the Bible, he was hungry. Can you imagine wandering for 40 days, about 6 weeks, fasting, which means no food, nothing to nourish you? As I was talking with the children about it, which is kind of fun to do with the little ones and the big ones, there's such a gap of answers. But of course, the little one was a spitfire today again. I said, can you imagine? Well, you wouldn't be healthy. You're right, you wouldn't be healthy. And just as with the children, there is a lesson in this for us. There's always lessons that we learn in the Bible. But this entire Lenten season, I would like to specifically take these 40 days and relate them to the growing and planting of a garden. All over the Christian world, people are getting ready to give something up for Lent. Some give up chocolate, not for me though. Some give up bad habits. Some people may even start something new, and a new hobby. I was having lunch with some new friends last week, and one of them said that her activity for Lent was to clean up her sewing room. And I'm thinking in my head, you only need 40 days for that? But growing up right here in this church, I don't remember us giving anything up for Lent. I understand the process, and as well of you, and the reasoning for giving something up. But I like to focus on the positive, and not that fasting or being like Jesus is negative. I would like to do something that betters my life. It betters my spiritual journey. And this is why I wanted to bring up the concept of growing a garden. Now I know we have Cindy here, but has anybody else ever planted a garden? Marilyn, Susan, oh, okay. Have you planted anything? Ever? Okay, excellent. We've all done that. And we know that growing anything is a process. But with all processes, there is a beginning. And the first thing you need to grow a garden, soil. Without a good base of soil, we could plant the easiest thing to grow, but it just might not take hold. And with that soil, as Vinny reminded us, we need two other things. We need sunlight and water. So let's break this down a little bit to connect it to our growth in the Lord. Soil is that base we need in order to grow. So we're going to put our soil in. I know if I had real soil that somebody might have a problem with that, but this soil is rich with nutrients and ready to have that seed planted. But how do we get this base ready? We can't just pour in our thoughts and our readiness. And that's what we need. We need to be ready, and we need to be willing to accept that seed, all that the Lord wants us to know. And we can prepare quite easily by asking God to help us. We can pray, and we can pray that our heart and our mind are ready and open for what is ahead of us. This is exciting. This is where we acknowledge our relationship with the Lord and that it is important, and we want to make our spiritual journey priority. The nutrients we are building in our soil is this willingness to be in communion with God. As we are doing this, as we are actively preparing our soil, what is next? Well, the sunlight is our light here, and it also, as Vinny said, is water. That's a lot of water. That poor plant's not going to do well. The light is God, and water is God's truth. You can't do much without either one. And that has to do with us too. We physically need the sun. We need the light. We need water. Those are things we need to survive. But how do we get this? How do we get that light to face towards us? How do we make sure that this soil, this base, gets enough water and truth? Well, let's start with the light. How many times have you gone outside and as soon as you hit that sunbeam and it hits your face, you stop, you turn, and you face it? And you just let that warmth hit you. This is what we need to do. We need to turn toward God. Face the light and the warmth. God is just waiting for us to make that turn. And as we do this, we are saying to ourselves and to God, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to strengthen this relationship. God's already there. We need to do the turning. Now for the water, that will help what we plant to grow strong. This is the truth. This is God's truth. Where are you supposed to find this? Do I need to turn towards something that shows me the truth? Or do I open my Bible? Reading our Bible and reading the Word is something that will give us that truth. Did you know you can always have a Bible with you? I have 2 apps in particular that are on my phone so that I have the Bible with me all the time. I've had many conversations with friends. You know, I think I saw something in the Bible that said this. Pull up my phone. Yep, it's right here. But that's me. Digging into the stories of the Bible, discussing them with your friends, or attending discussions. A couple ways to make it come to life. We have to relate what is there in the Bible to our life. We need that water, that truth, to keep us growing towards the sun. So we have our soil. We are strengthening the nutrients. We're looking towards the sun and taking in that water to grow. Seems easy enough, almost as if a child could do it. They can and they do. They ask a lot of questions. But what are your questions in building your garden? This first week of our Lenten season, let's work on our soil and prepare it for the growth that will take place over the next 40 days. And see what happens when we reach the end. And as you all know, the celebration of Easter. From Luke chapter 8. But the seed on good soil stands for those with a noble and good heart who hear the word, retain it, and by persevering, produce a crop. Amen.